Hi beautiful people, my name is Bridget. Welcome back. Today we're going to do a project pan update at the beginning of the year. I said I was going to try to do a project pan this year. I've never done one before. It's not really like my usual kind of thing. However, there's a lot of products in my collection that I really just wanted to finish up, so I thought this would be a good year to try it out and actually get some good use out of things that I have rather than just buying new stuff constantly, even though I like new things, you know? So I will leave my previous starting this project pan linked down below for you. If you haven't checked that video out, you can come back here, see the 6-month update. It has been 6 months since I started this project pan. Some things I've done really well on, some things not so much, but I wanted to share my progress with you just in case you're doing the same kind of thing. I know some people like this kind of update video, and I've really been trying more so on some products than others. You know, I have a hard time with eyeshadow trying to pan that, but let me show you what we started with. So we have the Milk Makeup Powder. It's been discontinued for a while. I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to finish that up. The Kaleidos Makeup Contour Kit, because I use the hell out of contour kits, so honestly that one was going to be the easiest one for me. The Start Inspired Highlighter by Ofra, which is a mix of 2 different colors, and it looks really fun. They're my 2 favorite colors, so I figured using the one that had both of them would have been easy for me. The Cremated Eyeshadow Palette from Jeffree Star. Again, eyeshadow was hard for me to do. I also chose the Melt Cosmetics Rust Palette. After that, I had the Anastasia Beverly Hills Setting Spray. I've been trying to use that thing for a long time, so, you know, I'm glad to say there's progress on that one. The Ofra Primer, the Cool as a Cucumber, because I have 2 backups of that product. One I bought a backup of when it was on sale, one we got a subscription box, so I figured let's go ahead and use one up so I can move on to the backup I have. And then lastly, the Rare Beauty Primer by Selena Gomez. So those are the products that I chose for this project pan. I did start off this by tallying every time I used it. This only lasted about the first month, and then I did not keep tallying anymore. So, you know, that was a little bit of a fail on my half, but I just forgot to tally. But I will show you the progress, so let's get started. Let's start off with the 2 things I have made no progress on, basically, and that is the palettes. I love new palettes, and there's certain palettes I reach for more than others. Maybe I should have reached for more of a neutral palette for this project pan, but I chose a warm and a cool tone. So for the Jeffree Star palette, I'll show you what it looks like. I only used it 11 times. That's how many. I have 10 tallies here. I'm sure I used it once after that. I haven't used it in the last couple of months. Just because I haven't really been using anything super dark recently. But here's how the palette's looking like. You can see some of the shimmers I've dipped into a little more than others. And this is probably my most used shade down here, just because I could use it with any other shade underneath my brow bone. So I haven't made much progress on the eyeshadows. The other one is Rust by Melt, because this freaking palette is expensive. Melt palettes in general are expensive. So here's Rust. I only used this 4 times by the time I stopped tallying, and I don't think I've used it again since then. So this really, that was kind of a fail. So those are the 2 eyeshadow palettes. Those are 2 things I failed on. Let's talk about things I did succeed in. I do have 3 empties, 3 things I completely finished out of this list. So firstly, I completely finished the Milk Makeup Powder. There wasn't too much to begin with left in here, but I did end up using it 4 times until it was empty. I used it for all over my face to get the most use out of it. I cut more out of the center so I could really get down in there with a powder brush. So I did end up finishing this, which was nice. I really wish they didn't discontinue this though. It's a really good product. They had a really good setting powder here. I didn't like the mesh netting thing they had here. That's not my favorite. If they just redid the packaging, this will be a phenomenal setting powder. The next thing I finished up was the Ofra Cool as a Cucumber. This one was really easy. I had used this 8 times by the time I finished it. There's still a little smidgen on this corner here, but for the most part, it's, she's empty. I did a good job. This is satisfying. This being this empty is very satisfying. So this one's nice. Again, I have backups of this, so I will be diving into it. I have not opened those backups yet because I'm still trying to finish another primer. And I am not there yet, but once I do, I will be switching to a new one of those because I really enjoy it. After that, the last thing I completely finished is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Setting Spray, the Dewy Mist Setting Spray. We started off, it was right here. I drew a little line on the bottle where I started off the project pan at, and I used all that much. So I used over half of it in the last 6 months. I had used it over 18 times. I probably got a couple more use out of it after I stopped tallying, of course. But I used it at least 20 times, which obviously, setting sprays last forever. Like, I have to really focus on only using one setting spray to finish one, and that's what I did to finish this up. So I'm proud this one is gone and empty now. I do like the setting spray. You know, I felt like it was gonna have glitter in it because of the packaging. It doesn't, but it does leave like a little bit of a dewy finish, and I also found that when I have like a lot of powder on my face, it really does settle that powder down. However, when I got to the end of it, it was spurting out like big bubbles of water, and I did not like that, but it was good up until that little last bit of it. This is like a really quick short update video, I'm sorry, but I do have 3 other things that I've been trying to use. This one, I can't wait till it's empty. Like, I am trying so hard to empty this. I am tired of using it, okay? I'm tired. It always leaves my fingers sparkly. Like, I did my makeup maybe 2 hours ago. I haven't washed my hands the last 2 hours, but there's shimmer on my hands, okay? It leaves shimmery stuff everywhere. I don't like it. Yeah, sure, I can apply it with something else, but I always apply my primer with my fingers, and I'm not gonna use a brush. So the Rare Beauty primer. Let me say firstly, I do like the primer. I like the consistency. It's really easy to squirt out of here and get some use out of, but it leaves my fingers shimmery. And someone with dry skin, I do need something hydrating like this primer, but I'm just tired of the shimmers on my fingers every freaking day because this is the only primer I've used since I finished the Ofra one. I think one day I was running late and I used a spray primer, but other than that, every day for the last 6 months that I've done my makeup, I've done it with this to make the most progress out of it. I don't use a ton of primer, so it is taking me a long time to use it up. We started out the project pan here. It is now up to here. So I've used all of this product. It's a lot of product gone. I'm so close to finishing it, like only this much left. But I tell you what, this is probably gonna last me 100 years because I want to finish it, which means I won't be able to finish it, you know? Like, I lost the cap to it along the way in this last 6 months, but I'm ready for it to be gone. Next up, the Kaleidos contour. I've used this every time I've done my makeup. I have not used a single other contour, and I have not hit pan. So that's interesting. I used 2 shades out of this palette. I don't really use this shade very often. I maybe use it twice or 3 times just to carve out under my cheekbones. But for the most part, I use these 2 shades. This shade goes on my cheekies for my little bit of contour, and this shade goes under my chin to try to hide my double chin and my little gobble. So here is the powders up close. We can tell in the center here, it's a little more dented down because I usually, for my under my neck, I will stick it in between both. So this side is a little more dented in. This side, you can tell I've used it for sure. You can definitely tell here, it's where my brush usually goes. But I have not hit pan on it. But there is a decent dent. There's a decent dent in this one. So, I mean, this one could last me 100 years and I'd be fine with it because I just appreciate a cool tone contour color. And I hit pan on contours more than anything else in my collection by far. So eventually, this one will probably be panned and empty besides the lighter shade. Lastly, into my big blush and highlighter collection. I didn't choose a blush for this because usually I just dip into like 3 at a time and just mix them together for my cheeks. However, the Start Inspired highlighter, which is this one right here, I hit pan on these 2 previously. This is the one that I've been using for my project pan. We can tell I have some pan showing here, and it's very low on this side. This side I haven't been reaching for as much. You can tell it's more raised, but I'm using this side and this kind of middle section is where my brush goes. And I've been making good progress on it. The thing is, with the Ofra highlighters, it's a ton of product. Like, I've only hit pan on these because I've had them forever. Me consistently just reaching for this one. It's gonna take me a while to get some more pan on it. I have made a good dent in there, some good progress on panning that one. So we'll see where it's at the end of the year. But as of right now, I don't think it's that big of a difference from what it was before, you know? But anyways, that's my updates from our project pans. Some of them, again, like I finished certain products. There's some I didn't really use that much. Instead of the 2 palettes, the Rust and Cremated, that are on my list right now, I just want to condense it to being 1 palette. So I am going to add this to my collection. It's one of these Smoky Nostalgia palettes from Kaleidos. This is something I've been reaching for a lot recently, just for everyday, don't have to think about it kind of looks, because I just love the shimmer. So here is how this is looking right now. As you can tell, it's not too dented in. These are thicker pans, so it's gonna take me a while, but we're gonna see how much progress I can make on this one instead of the Rust and Cremated palette, because clearly those have not worked for me for the last 6 months to make me use it. So we're gonna try a different route on that one. I will continue to use the primer, the contour, the highlighter, and see where we're at. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I think it's been great to see how much I can actually use of a product. However, some of them are like really hard to get through, you know. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. You know, the channel's, you know, it could use a couple likes. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you later, and stay safe out there, okay? Okay, bye.